How much are you paying for not changing? What is it costing you? You see, there is actually a cost, a monetary loss for not changing. And in my coaching program, I teach the principle of monetizing the cost of not changing. But I want to give you an overview so you can have a rough idea of how to use this. You can use this tool as a motivator to not only create change, but sustain it. So in my program, I give the example of someone who had anger management issues, and they would have 3 episodes working at a bank where during those episodes they would lose it, and it would take a long time, about an hour, for them to calm down. So they were losing 3 hours of productivity. By being able to put a monetary value on those 3 hours, they were able to find out how much money they were losing in a year, and then work that out by the amount of years they've had the problem for, and then do pretty much an effective calculation of the monetary cost of not having changed that. Then they could do a projection to the future of what it would cost from then to retirement if we don't change this. It's the same with a person who was battling with some health and weight issues and not having the energy to do things they needed. That meant they needed more time to rest. They needed to then work extra later at night. They didn't have energy to do house duties, so they needed to pay somebody extra to do some of these house duties. As a result, they were able to work out on paper. And when you do these calculations, you come up with some pretty incredible amounts. You know, depending on how much a person earns, like, wow, $234,574.24 for not changing this in my life. And able to project it to future. And in some cases, depending on what the issue is that people want to change, that cost can come out to tremendous amounts of money, literally millions of dollars sometimes. And so a question to ask ourselves is, if somebody was to give me this money now, would I accept it as a gift? Well, we have the ability to give that money to ourselves by changing a behavior. And to work that out, you need to work out, give some kind of value to your hourly time. People say, well, I get paid per year. I work all kind of crazy hours. Well, do a kind of a schedule. Find out how many hours do you really work. And then, divide your salary by those amount of hours in the week or whatever the time frame is, and try to work out what is an hour worth. Of course, your time is worth a lot more than that. And when we monetize the cost of not changing, we're not including the things that, the emotional cost of not changing, whether it's anger management, an ongoing health issue, an ongoing issue in the way you communicate with your friends, an inability to communicate openly, not having boundaries, or having an issue with fear, lack of courage in communicating. Whatever our, in the areas of relationship, communication, growth, or if we have an ongoing depression that steals our energy because we do not feel worthy enough to be happy, well, that will also have a monetary cost. When you can work out the monetary cost, you can then decide, do I want to continue to pay that? Or if I had the option, would I like that money back? And knowing that information can be a motivator to actually implement the tools that can resolve our challenge.